Hey guys, Florent from Off to Lens here, and today I want to talk about the LAOWA 9mm 2.8 0D. This is a lens that I've been using regularly over the past few weeks, and I have received quite a few questions about it, so I thought I'd make a quick review. This review is based on using it on a BMPCC 4K, but most of it applied to the lens itself. A few months ago, LAOWA sent me their 7.5mm lens to test out on the BMPCC 4K, and whilst I loved it, I always thought it was slightly too wide for me. So when they asked me if I was interested in trying out their new 9mm, I said yes. One of the main reasons for me to say yes is that this lens is labeled as having close to no distortion, and should technically be an improvement over my Lumix 12-35. Even though I shoot quite a lot of travel and landscape content, I rarely shoot super wide, so I was the first one surprised on how much I actually loved using this little guy now. If you're into photography or filmmaking, you probably own more than one lens, but it can be hard finding the right combo, and wide lenses are often the tricky part. So let's jump into it, but before I start, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. As you may know, Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in filmmaking, photography, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access, so you can join the classes and community that are right just for you and your new goals. Use the link in the description to get a premium 2-month free trial. Build quality, size, and weight. The lens is very nicely built, it feels solid, it only weighs 215 grams, which makes it very suitable for gimbal work. The focus throw is smooth, and the aperture ring feels great. I like that the hood is made of metal as well. Main features. As I've mentioned before, this lens is a Micro Four Thirds one, which is why I use it on a Pocket 4K. This means I don't need an adapter. However, the lens is manual, so it will not talk to the camera. You have to physically change the aperture using the ring. The fact that this lens is 2.8 allows me to shoot in pretty dark conditions, and coupled with the BMPCC low light abilities, you can get a pretty clean image. I went to Vivid Sydney, which is a festival of lights and music, a couple of weeks ago, and it was pitch black apart from the lights, and I was very impressed with the result. One of the main features is the close to zero distortion, and I have to say it is pretty impressive. I usually shoot with a Lumix 12-35, and at 12mm, depending on your subject, the distortion can be quite noticeable. Don't get me wrong, I love that zoom, but when shooting in the city, for example, you want minimal distortion. With the LAOWA, I haven't had any issues whatsoever, even filming buildings or straight lines. Image quality. I love the image that comes out of this lens. It has such a distinct look, you can really tell you're shooting with a high quality prime glass. I did find though that on some shots the edges can be a bit soft when wide open. It's not an issue for me, and it disappears as soon as you go up in aperture value. Would I recommend this lens? Absolutely. I usually use zoom most of the time since the Pocket 4K is my travel and licensing camera, but I find myself coming back to this lens quite a lot, and having a small prime is always a plus. I love the image, the build quality, and paired with the zoom, it is a nice combo that allows you to shoot pretty much anything, and you can get shots that you wouldn't normally get since it is so wide. It is also great for gimbal work since it is so small, and I have used it on my Ronin S and it was extremely handy. This lens has some cons as well. The edges at 2.8 can be a bit soft, which I kinda like, but might be too soft for some people. The price might be a bit steep at $500 US if you have just received your camera, and you can definitely get your hands on cheaper primes out there. It is also manual, which can be annoying if you want to shoot quickly and to be able to change your aperture from the camera. The aperture as well is not declicked. But that's about it guys, as you see, the cons are very minimal. As I mentioned before, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. I actually signed up with Skillshare after a friend of mine had a link for a free trial period as well. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving in 2019. As an example, one of my favorite classes is a DIY cinematography class by Ryan Booth. Ryan Booth has been one of my favorite directors, cinematographers for a few years now, and I love that I can get an insight in his work. In this half-hour class, you get to see his approach to filmmaking and creating a short documentary piece. The class is split in a few different sections, more like chapters if you will, and it makes it very easy to follow. Make sure to check out his work as well, as he shoots with a Pocket 4K sometimes. I wouldn't actually be doing a sponsored video about something that I don't think would be of any value to you guys. I use it, and I think there's definitely something for everyone. Think of it like a mix of school and YouTube. Skillshare is also super affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. So again, use the link in the description to get a 2-month premium free trial and see how you go, and join more than 7 million creators learning with Skillshare. If you own a BMPCC 4K and want to get a high quality wide angle that is light, nicely built without breaking the bank, then this is it. Hope you've enjoyed this quick review of the LAOWA 9mm 2.8. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Let me know in the comments if you're thinking of getting this lens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.